Welcome to Day 4 of the KSL Hungry App Stars League with Kwanro. These sets of matches should be some good ones. We're going to start off with Rock versus Kwanro in Game 1. And we're going to get right into it, guys, for your enjoyment and my pleasure. So, we saw the Rock versus Bisu in his first match, and it was an absolute stomp. Although it was kind of messed up in general. In terms of what happened. Oh yeah, the frames kept skipping in that game because the stream was just low quality. But anyway, here's his record right here: 82 wins and 113 losses versus Zerg at a 37% win rate. Now again, that is prior. That's like his historical rate. I'm pretty sure. What we've got listed here, but we don't actually have any information. So again, it sounds like he had kind of come out of retirement for this league because, for whatever reason, Team Liquid doesn't have any stats, and if Team Liquid doesn't have stats, it makes me really wonder, has he been playing recently? Because they're pretty good in the TLPD of keeping stats. Dueling with the heater. I hope you guys love the heater hype. I can't help it. I can't help it. It is what it is. It's cold. It's winter. And he's going up against Kwanro. Kwanro, who... Oh, did Kwanro win his first match? Let me go check this out real quick. I forget. Who did Kwanro play against in the first round? Kwanro... Yes, he won his first match against Busan, I believe. Spoiler alert for games that were casted like 2 weeks ago, I guess. He's got 108 to 87 win rate versus Protoss, 54%. And in general, the Zergs have been dominating Protoss. In fact, I think there's only been one Protoss to break that cycle. And this was all part of Bisu's plan, by the way. If you remember when he started doing the group stages originally, I believe he had more Zerg in his group. And he's really, really good at PvP. And then his next matchup is PvZ. And then PvT is last. So he actually moved, who was it? He moved, was it C maybe, or Piano out of it? Yeah, I think it was Piano out of his group in favor for Kwanro. And Bisu's dominated. He's 2-0 in his group, and Kwanro is 1-0 at the start of this match. So let's go into it. Looks like they're about to show the map, so I'll wait a second here. Although, what am I waiting for? I can just skip ahead. La Mancha, the desert tile set, and again, it's that 4-player spawn map. We've, I think, watched one game on it so far. It's pretty straightforward, main, natural, and then you can take the bridge to your third over here. Which can be difficult to defend because you have a smaller choke coming in to defend against a bigger choke that could push into you. So you may have struggles against Terran and things like that. And then there's these weird ramps that also have some blocked off movable objects here that you have to go around with some dead space in the middle. Hard to, I mean, there's some opportunity for drops, but there's not really much opportunity from the tank standpoint. Now this is PvZ, so I should probably focus on Protoss and Zerg. So there is opportunity for good meter harass, and that'll be something that Rock is going to go up against, most likely. Here are two players getting ready for it. Kwanro with the look of death in his eye, and Rock the look of utter humiliation for being the lowest ranked guy in the entire set of players. If you guys remember in the first video we cast, there was some tidbits I shared where they did a popularity contest in this, and The Rock came in at dead last with one vote for him to win, and it was from like a single fangirl. That's right. Embarrassing, isn't it? Isn't it? Hey, Smashka, thanks for joining tonight. I know, I told you. Well, I didn't tell you, but I put it on Twitter real quick. I was running late for the stream. I had some connection issues, and it looks like I'm dropping frames again right now. So depending on how this turns out, if I get above 5%, I'll probably pause, and we'll see if it's worth continuing on here. Hey, Bobby, good to see you tonight. And here we go on the bottom right, or top right actually. We've got the Protoss player, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson himself, looking stellar as always in his Kwanro. Well, I guess it's a blazer, isn't it? Going up against the Zerg Kwanro in matching headphones. It looks like they both like their red headphones. The Zerg player is scouting in the right direction to find the Protoss opponent very early on, which is fantastic for him, but I don't think it's going to change much play either way for either player. What we've been seeing in these matches, the meta has been fairly standard. The Protoss player has gone a early expansion, typically a Forge Fast Expand. He's got a nice choke to do it on this map especially. That's not incredibly difficult to wall off. And the Zerg, on the other hand, has been going either usually 2 or 3 hatch, usually 3 hatch into Muta first, followed up by Lurker. And it looks like the Rock was just like banging something on his desk for some reason. Maybe he was fapping. I don't know. Be a weird time to start that, but maybe Zerg turns him on. I don't know. People are into weird stuff. Rule 34, right? Anyway, it looks like Rock is going to scout in the correct direction as well from the get-go, and he's going to see exactly what he expects to see. But the one good thing he can do is get some early harass on to try to delay the Zerg in any way, shape, or form possible, because, again, Zerg has been dominating Zerg versus Protoss. It hasn't been Protoss versus Zerg. It has been Zerg versus Protoss. That's how much they're dominating. So I definitely think with the Rock's rating going into this, he's fighting an uphill battle, especially against Kwanro's playstyle, which is incredibly aggressive. Thinking back on the Rock and his playstyle from yesteryear, I think typically he was very much a gateway-esque, high gateway number, ground force type of player, and I think he would basically barrel into you like a Rock, just continue to pummel you. It never felt like there was a lot of thought, but he had solid macro, and he's got that going for him, which means if he can outlast the harassment and aggressiveness of Kwanro, he may be able to take the game. But I'm doubtful. I'll be honest. I'm doubtful. So we'll have to see if the Rock can pull it out. I gotta say, I just think Kwanro's overly, heavily favored player here. Expansion going down for the Zerg. We've got a couple of Zealots out on the field to deal with the probe and to do some scouting of their own. It looks like 2 cannons are going down, so it looks like Rock is a little worried. Oh, he canceled the one. Okay, so that was not a terribly bad play. It was basically an insurance play of, in case he comes rushing at me, I let it finish. If not, 1 cannon will help block pretty much everything that he needs to block. And he's got his gateway up in front of it as well. His Nexus is going down, so it wasted, what, 1/3 of the minerals I think you lose when you run a when you warp in a building, something like that. And yeah, so not a big cost or loss at the moment. What we've been seeing, the follow-up, though, for the Forge Fast Expand for the Protoss players has typically been Citadel into Stargate into Templar Archive. I'm not sure we've seen many Reavers. I'm just thinking back, did we see anyone go fast Reavers? And I'm not sure we did. I think the preferred play has been Corsair into DTs, basically. But again, no Protoss has had much success with that. It's been a struggle. Now, some players have gone for double Stargate and mass Corsairs to deal with a lot of Overlords quickly. But it ends up being a delay tactic. I mean, you're not taking out any economic or doing any economic harassment, really, when you do that. It's just spending some more minerals in Overlords. And late game, that may end up playing some sort of role, but it hasn't in most of the games that we've watched. It does also help with DT play, of course, but we haven't seen it be effective. Here's the crowd. They've got a nice upgrade of chairs. Did that guy's hat say "Nope" on it? That's awesome. Nope. Right. Can you do this for me? Nope. I'd love to have that hat at work. Just be like, someone asked me to do something, I just go like this. Nope. I don't think I would ever do that. That's not very professional. In fact, I'd probably get fired if I did that. So let's not do that. And I don't recommend you guys do that either. Anyway, not much action here. It looks like Kwanro has decided to go get a 3rd cross map here. There's been debate if these thirds would be considered hidden or not. It's been very common for these cross map 3rd bases. For whatever reason, maybe it's easier to defend for these guys. I'll be honest, I'm not really sure. I've got to see a little bit more of it to see if it's intentional and if the Protoss knows about it. But a lot of times, it's like the Protoss doesn't actually scout them. So we're actually not going to see Muta coming out we're going to see Hydras coming out, and a couple of them are going to be snuck by. Take out the probe over there. More cannons coming down. It looks like the Rock realizes that there is going to be some super aggression up at the front door, and we're not going to see Muta harassment. That's incredible. This is the first switch that we've seen for, excuse me, a Zerg player going into the early rounds, and he's going to get a free gateway here and potentially the +1 upgrade. A Corsair does go out to try to get any type of harassment out on those overlords, but maybe he'll be able to draw back a Hydra or two, but a single Corsair takes forever to kill things. Those Hydras are clearly on hold position. Oh, but it looks like they don't have range upgrade yet. Maybe he's got that going now. Pretty low econ game in general for the Zerg player, and it looks like he is going to be able to get down that forge as well without too much loss. Corsair does scout that hidden third. Actually, that was the natural expansion, I'm sorry. More cannons going down for the Protoss player, and it looks like the Hydras are just going to go straight up on these cannons. And this could be a really fast game at this rate. Now, he hasn't taken out the forge. It looks like either he canceled the upgrade, so he stopped attacking it, or he actually completed the upgrade. Now, if he clicks on a unit, we'll be able to tell what exactly happened. But huge damage coming down from these Hydras. Looks like they do finally take down the forge, which is smart to stop any more cannons from being made as well. But only one cannon's completed, and with just a Dragoon and probes out here, the Rock is taking very heavy casualties. Another cannon going to go down. The last cannon is on the way. He's got to build a new forge, and now the Zerg is in his base, and he's taking out all of the probes. He's trying to block the ramp with the probes, but it looks like Kwanro is just going to move in here and go for the jugular, as he's got some zealots out on the field. Probes are going up against Hydras. Never a good route to go, but hey, I guess when you're desperate, you got to do what you got to do. And Kwanro is on pretty much unharassed basis. The only thing the Rock has going for him is if he can take out enough overlords to make it difficult for him to continue building these Hydras. Now, the probes are doing work, but he's not mining at all. And the Rock is in trouble as more Hydras continue to come in here. A few Zealots do come out, but with some micro, Kwanro should be able to handle this pretty easily. I'm not sure if he's got speed on those. And it looks like we've been dropping some frames again, so I may end up having to cancel game 2. We'll see what happens here. And at the very least, it looks like Kwanro has got this game. The Rock's got nothing left, and he's finally going to GG. So nice job to Kwanro here in taking that one out. And the Rock goes 0-2 in his group stages. So unfortunately for him, it sounds like the Rock is going to get knocked out here. But really, overall, great gameplay by Kwanro. I love the hidden information. Rock never saw that there was a Hydra list down, I don't think, and he was able to squeeze out enough Hydras to really kill him. Right? And at this point, the Rock is dejected. Wow. So let's see if we've got an interview here. Looks like we do. Yeah, I dropped some frames through that, and I'm continuing to drop frames. So we may take it. Let's take a short break here between this game and the next, and see if things clear up or not before we go into game 2. YouTubers, you're not going to see the effects, so I'll stop recording here. GG, see you in game number 2. Alright guys, welcome to game number 2 for my Twitch viewers. I hope the stream doesn't drop any frames. We'll keep an eye on that, and if it does, we will probably cut it after this game for tonight. If not, YouTube, you get to watch all your games at once. Well, you probably will either way, because I'll just cut it all together after the fact. Anyway, this game is going to be a ZVZ, which could be either epically short or epically long. We've got Larva versus Killer. And Larva is actually, what do we got here for his ranking? Coming into this, he's at a 46% win rate, and versus Zerg, he's at a whopping, 38% win rate. Killer, on the other hand, is at a 77% win rate against Zerg. So this could be a crazy blowout, or we might see a pretty sweet comeback. There's Killer himself, Ever Z Killer. He's Ever the Killer. He's also German, apparently. That's awesome. He's got they call it a 56% win rate against Terran, but again, my stats are slightly adjusted for newer games here, so it looks like he's going to probably be the heavy favorite going into here. So let's go check out the map they're playing on. Someone read that for me. I can't read it. It's a bunch of zeros, and there's a 7 there, and I don't know, whatever. The map is Avalon, and we are going to be watching this on the winter tile set, which, by the way, is not my favorite. It's the most contrasting and burns my eyes when I watch games on it. But it is what it is, right? I mean, they picked it, so we'll play with it. All right, so let's move into the match here. It is Larva over on this side versus Killer. ZVZ. Here we go. I skipped right to the front. There we go. Hello, 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 hello. Someone's laughing out loud. I don't know who it is, though, because I can't read Korean names. We'll see. It got choppy when I skipped ahead. Oh, you might be right. I don't know if that was me or the video. So, starting off in the top left of Avalon in our ZVZ, we have Larva sporting his very stylish glasses, and once again, every Korean here has awesome Korean hair, as expected. Going up against the Teal Zerg, Killer, who has significantly less cool Korean hair, I must say. It is definitely not on the same level of Larva. So I have to favor Larva going into this. I mean, battle of the hair, Larva's the winner. I watched my first YouTube video. Well, we wait for this to kind of pick up a bit. I watched my first YouTube video not too long ago, and besides being cringe-worthy in general, I was talking about something that I actually got from Mole Trap when I had been watching him, and it was something that he called color theory, where the different colors that you played at had different chances of winning. And it's really silly looking back on it, but he had a point. I mean, it was funny. It was like red was winning a lot for whatever reason. So, it looks like we still have a couple drop frames. If it gets too much worse, we'll make some adjustments here. But I feel sorry I have to keep talking about it, too. It's annoying. I'll try to sort this out in the not-too-distant future. I don't want to move the setup, though, because I get the pub right behind me. It would be terrible if I had to do that. It's a pretty low density of fan volume in this game here. That is apparently someone famous. I don't know if it was a guy or a girl. We'll call him Pat or Chris or some other androgynous name that I can't think of at the moment. Jesse. I got more. Awesome. What are some other androgynous names? Kim, especially if you're Korean. All right. Anyway, let's get into this match. ZVZs are typically very based on the build order. There can be build order wins. It looks like we've got similar. I wasn't paying enough attention to tell you exactly what happened for the build order, but it looks like either went for a overpool or a 9 pool based on what I'm looking at here. They seem to be indicating that it was a 9 pool into a lair, whereas the other player appears to have gone overpool. Well, no, I only see one overlord scouting the map, unless it's in the base and I'm not seeing it. No, he had to make it. Oh, I mean, he's an overlord. What am I saying? Doesn't matter. Looks like he did go overpool, and the quick lair is a bit risky. So we'll have to see how it pans out. I totally messed that up. I mean, Teal's got 2 overlords, and Red's got, I believe, 2 overlords. So I'll have to go back later and watch what exactly happened. That's what I get for not really paying attention here, feeding you guys misinformation. So 2 risks were taken. We've got the quick lair from Teal, and we've got the quick expansion from Red. And I believe, again, Red was Larva. So Larva is getting harassed down here by Killer. And it's pretty even in Zerglings. Well, no, actually, it looks like Killer is up by 2. And we may actually see this hatchery go down. Another 2 coming in. It looks like speed is... I believe he's got... No, it doesn't have speed yet for those links. It looks like he might have. And drones have to come out, and he manages to take out the hatchery. That is a huge, huge loss. And Spire is on the way. Larva is under pressure at this point. And it looks like he hasn't lost any drones. He is going to be able to defend this Ling harassment. Killer's going to back off. He may be able to buy some time here with trying to go back around the Lings. He is sending 1 back to deal some sort of damage on probably on the drone line, or scout out for other things in general. Spire is 2/3 of the way done at this point, though. And if he can defend against the Ling harassment up here, and he's going to be able to hold this ramp pretty well with the number of Lings he has. He should be in really good shape here. He's put the red player severely behind. Spire is only going now, and we've got a kill on the Zergling on the drones. Very sloppy play by Larva, and he's actually in a lot of trouble here. I mean, if you guys remember, one drone loss is humongous in ZVZ. They're the most low econ games that you'll ever see. And that Spire is still in the red. He's only a third of the way done. The Spire is just completed for Killer, and this is as good as GG right here. The only thing that he can possibly do at this point is get some sort of anti-air, but he doesn't even have an Evo chamber or anything, so he's not actually going to be able to do that anyway. It's a waste of time. Really, the only thing that well, he's trying to get it now, but I think it's too little too late. Really, the only thing that he could do is try to break in the base. He does manage to do that, but with only 2 Lings and Muta's on the way, I mean, Killer's going to be able to delay long enough or handle this with his drones, and it's not going to be a big deal. And there are the Muta. They're going to push back the 4 Lings, and Larva knows if he's going to have any hope at this, he's got to keep those Lings alive, keep them off to the side, wait for the Muta to move out, and try to trade and stall long enough to draw the Muta back to the base while he's hitting them with the Lings. Now that Spire is almost done, but it takes forever to build Muta when you're this far behind, or at least it feels that way if you're the Zerg player. All of the Lings are down. The Overlord is down. I mean, he may have even supply capped the Zerg player, the other Zerg player, Red Zerg here. And Larva, man, I don't see much way to come back from this. There's at least 4, if not 5, Muta for Killer, and it looks like Killer is going to go in and take out what he can. Now, by this point, it looks like Larva did manage to buy enough time to probably get a Spore Colony down, so he's not out of it yet, but he is definitely fighting from a behind position. Oh, he canceled the Evolution Chamber, and he does not have a Spore Colony at all, actually. And now, I can only assume that there is no way for him to deal with this. He's started to rebuild that Evo Chamber and put down a new Creep Colony for a Spore. And Scourge are out of the field now, which is going to be huge going up against Larva. I mean, Larva's going to have to deal with trying to micro against a Scourge, which is possible. And he's getting Scourge of his own because that's probably the other equalizer he can go for. He's going to see the Spore. He takes out an Overlord. Why not? I mean, hey, that's going to put him even further behind. And now he's got a pretty good clump of Muta here that are going to head out and do some damage. It looks like, I don't know if he spotted them, but he seems to know that Larva is heading over that Zelnaga tower over there. Scourge heading over to Killer. Killer able to take out both in one shot! Oh no, this does not look good for Larva at all. 2 more Scourge are out, but two down is more than he could afford in the first place. For whatever reason, though, Killer is very much hesitating, and with how low he is in drones, so we've got, what, 5, 6, 7, 8 for Killer, and we've got a lot more, actually. We've got 2 additional drones for Killer. So over time, if he doesn't lose any drones in the very near future, this game is over. I mean, there's just no way for Larva to handle it. Now he does have the Spore to help work with it, and Muta continue to come out. It looks like that Scourge may be targeted down, and I'm not sure if it went down. I think it's still there. It's still there. And there are pot shots coming out from that Spore Colony to help with some damage. But he's losing mining time just running things around here. He took out a Muta, it sounded like, and a Muta went down for Killer as well. More Muta popping out for Larva at this point, and it is going to push Killer back as for some brief amount of time. But another drone looks to have gone down as well. And at this point, Larva, he has lost all of his drones on the mineral line. There are 2 left that might go back on it, and Larva is going for the counterattack here, but with only a Spore Colony here to defend. Oh, he missed an opportunity, and he's got Burrow! He's got Burrow! No way! He saves all of his drones! No way! That's awesome. That's awesome. And he goes back to mining, and Larva, look at that look of disgust on his face. He knows what's going down here. Killer with a very beautiful split of his Muta for no reason at all. Going up against the Scourge, it looks like maybe be able to take out the Scourge. Muta going down for Larva, and I am expecting a GG very shortly. It looks like he's down to only 2 or 3 Muta of his own. 4 Muta maybe, and a handful of Scourge. And he's just so far behind. It's like in playing pool, and you're just pinned behind 2 balls, and you got to hit the 8 ball, and you're just bound to scratch. He's scratching hard here. That was a terrible analogy, I know, but I can't think of anything better at the moment. And he's losing his gas drones as well. So keep in mind the other problem that Larva has is he only has so many larvae. And he's got to make drones instead of Muta, while Killer keeps making Muta, and we see GG. And with some nice bad mannerism at the end, he takes out the last of the Muta, and that will be game, guys. Very awesome. Good game. See you guys in game 3. Not this. Alright, guys, welcome to game number 3 of the KSL Day 4 Kongdu Hungry App, however you want to say it, Stars League. This match is going to be another ZVZ between Hero and Zero. We'll be rhyming all night, guys. I don't know what's going to come out of it yet because I haven't thought of anything and I'm ill-prepared, but I'm sure there'll be some terrible jokes at some point. Looking at Hero here, we do have a 42% win rate listed there against Zerg. The more recent, let's see, data set tells us a bit different. Let's see where they've got it at. 44%, so a little bit off. Zero, on the other hand, got a 53% win rate against Zerg, with a lifetime win rate of 211 to 173. That's a lot of games. I mean, that's just, if that's all pro games, that's a lot of pro games. I mean, I think about how many games I've played historically in Brood War, and that seems to be a large chunk of my percentage. Like, his win rate there by itself was probably 10% of all games I've ever played. Well, maybe not that much, but a decent amount. It's crazy. These guys must play like 30,000 games. Anyway, Killer listed here as a 77% win rate since it's, or that's Killer, I'm sorry, we're talking about Zero, aren't we? He's got a 47% win rate, which is much lower than represented here as we saw earlier. So it may be a much closer match than what they're letting on here. It looks like they're going to be playing on Fighting Spirit, which is a very fun tile set. One of my more favorite maps. And looking forward to this game. Hey, Nakmus! Thanks for following the pub. Or not following, but at least watching the pub. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the game. I think I saw you here the other day, didn't I? Maybe I did. Alright, let's skip into the game, guys, and get right to it. Here are our boys, Zero and Hero. Zero and Hero. Hero protagonist. Anyone ever read that book? What was it? Snow something? Snow Crash? Is that what it was? Good book. Check it out if you haven't. And here we go! Game number 3. Hero versus Zero. Gore! They say that every time. I wonder what that means. Doesn't really matter. And they even got the Zerg background with the womb entrance at the bottom of that. It's so weird. It reminds me of Binding of Isaac when you go into the womb. You guys have to play the game to understand. We've got the white Zerg here at the top right of the map, and I'm going to guess this is Zero. It is not, it's Hero. I was wrong. Hero, by the way, historically was one of the younger players in StarCraft at his start of his career and arguably even the height of his career. Zero, on the other hand, Zero was actually a young player too, but I believe Hero was like 14, like Nada age when he started. And Hero is also known for some of the highest APM in Brood War. He regularly plays above 400 up to 500, which is crazy. But his decision making apparently is not as good as his APM because he's never really won anything of worth. Hey, Mushro14, thank you for following the pub. Glad to have you here. I'll have to update this later, but you've got us up to 140 followers. Very awesome. Not bad for a couple weeks of streaming here. Glad you guys seem to be enjoying this, as I am very much enjoying myself. And you guys make it. The masks! The masks are out! And if you look, they're stylish. They're much more stylish than they were years ago, where they only had the white ones that you got from Home Depot. Now they've got black ones, and probably tie-dye ones, and perhaps bleached black ones that have special images burned into them. I'm not really sure. So let's take a look at the build order this time. It looks like we've got a overpool coming in for Zero, and it looks like the same actually for Hero. Now, I didn't get an exact count on drones, so it may be, I don't think it's 12 pool, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. No, it's definitely overpool. And Yeah, so this will allow him to pop out his link very quick. And we'll have to see which player decides to go. What's really cool about this is their cross position, which may open up the options in terms of what they go. They're about to see exactly where each other are with the Overlords crossing path in the next half hour as they do their drive-by, their slow ride. And this actually is opening up the game quite a bit, and Hero's taking advantage of this, realizing that his opponent is not in either the west side or the south side directly to him. He's got to be cross-positioned because he's got an Overlord in both directions. He would have seen either one by now. He does throw down that expansion, which could work out very well for him. Now, Zero, on the other hand, has opted not to go this route, and he's going to invest most likely into technology, which he does, getting that lair down what appears to be sooner than Hero. Now, Hero, I'd like him to go back to the main base at some point, but I can't talk to him back in time, so we'll have to wait. But he is going to be a bit slower in the Muta. Now, there are things that you can do in this matchup if you can't go Quick Tech. You can go for the Spore Colony defense, which we've seen. The lair is, in fact, underway. Only 2 drones on gas, though. 3 on gas for Zero. So that means that we'll be able to see, well, Zero will be able to make more Muta than our friend Hero over here. But Hero can do more Ling. So depending on how many drones that we've got here, we'll see who can get more stuff out to make the game interesting. That was insightful, wasn't it? Anyway, it looks like the expansion is done. Zero is going to try to get some harassment on it. We do have a creep colony in the back base, and I'm imagining that's probably waiting to be a sunken. Hey, Murray, I'm not sure I said your name right, but thanks for following the pub. Hope you enjoy your stay here, and cheers to you. I'm almost out of beer, but that's okay. It looks like Hero is being very patient. My guess is he's going to want to save that for a Spore Colony if possible. But late game Ling run-bys can also ruin your day if you're not careful. Evo Chamber not going down. He is going to get a Spire. The Spire is going to be much later than Zero, but because of the cross map positions, it's not going to be that big of a deal actually. Even if Zero is able to pump out 3 Muta at once, because he only has the 1 hatchery, maybe 4 if he's it's not going to be at once, but a 4th overall. By the time he gets to the base of Hero, Hero should have the same number of Muta ready. We do see that Spire completing for Hero, and again, he does have that expansion. It looks like he's got 1 or 2 drones, or 3 drones at this point, mining over there based on the mini-map. It's hard to see with those little dots, but hey, it is what it is. So he should be ahead if this game goes long-term. And that's going to put Zero in a pretty awkward position here. We are going to see the 4 Muta being made, but again, with this cross-map positions, I mean, we already see the Spire is done for Hero, and some Muta are most likely being morphed in. We do get a couple of Lings running in here. They managed to take out what looked to be 1 drone before taking out, and now Muta are on the way as well. Now, there's nothing to scout this up until they get to their base, so he's going to have to make a quick decision here. Does he get an Evo Chamber or not? It looks like I was looking at the wrong Spire. It looks like the Spire is only just now completing. We are going to see the Evo Chamber. Interesting position there up front, if that is going to be a Spore Colony. Actually, I believe that will be a sunken that will defend against the... no, it is a Spore Colony. It is a Spore Colony to try to protect his Lings. So, now, with only 4 Muta, the Muta will take a lot of damage from a single Spore, and with the second one coming out here, it could be very troublesome if that gets completed, and may secure enough mining potential for Hero to make it very worthwhile. 2 Skurks take out a Muta very quickly. He's down to 3, and if the 4th one goes down, Zero is going to be in a lot of hurt. If the second one goes down, there's still a Scourge out there. And that Scourge paired with some Spore Colony hits will actually take out the Muta by itself. We still have 3 out on the field. They look like they may be able to get a free Overlord, but Scourge come to save the day. No, he is going to lose that Overlord, it looks like. Actually not. Well, he's going to have to wait for that Spore Colony to go down to Lings, and it looks like the front Spore Colony does go down. So, Zero not in a terrible position here. it looks like it's a little hectic for Hero, but we should see Muta coming out shortly, although I'm really surprised that it's taken so long for this to happen. And now Zero is in the main base, and with no Sunken and very limited Lings, he's got a huge advantage here. With 2 Scourge out again, Zero is able to micro those beautifully. They do no damage against the Muta, and at this point, this might be GG. 4 Lings are heading over to the main base of Zero. But Hero can't do too much with it if that's a Sunken that he's morphing in. It looks like he is. More Scourge coming out. It looks like Hero is going for the Scourge Ling route versus Muta. And with great micro, that's not going to be super threatening for the Muta. He is going to start taking down some Overlords as well. Sunken Colony's going down. Not much damage being had here for Hero. And this may be the end. He's trying to get some of the gas mining drones, but he lost all the drones in his main base. And GG coming from Hero. Wow. Beautifully played by Zero. Great micro at the end of that game. He did lose a couple of Muta unexpectedly, or not unexpectedly, maybe carelessly to those Scourge. But overall, he just had the aggressive route versus the defensive route. And the static D can be very difficult to maintain if you don't have enough to handle Lings running in and the Muta. So while he didn't have the same economy going, he had the same mineral worth of economy investment in aggressive units. And he's able to take out Hero. And I believe that puts Zero at 2-0 for his bracket. Let's take a quick look here. Zero is 2-0. That puts it Hero at 1-1. And very GG ZVZ. Alright, YouTube, cutting it here. We'll see you in game 4. Alright, guys, welcome to game number 4. Here we go. The last game is going to be a TV something. I forget what it was because I didn't really look closely before I started the game. TVT! Piano versus Mong. Here we go. So, if we look at the stats from earlier, Piano, I think, has got a pretty decent listing for what we've started with here. He's got a 64% win rate. Actually, it's one of the best coming into the league off of the break. And Mong is a miserable win. Actually, no, Mong has a win rate. It's been updated. So when I first did this, Mong was at like 0 for whatever reason. But apparently he's got a 57% win rate. So I don't know if I can keep making fun of him as much as I have been, but I probably will anyway because his name is Mong. And many things rhyme with Mong, such as Ding Dong and King Kong and So Long. And I'll stop there because it just gets worse. Ping Pong. Alright, so let's get into the match. What map are we playing on? We're going to be watching Avalon once again. 4-player map. Winner tile set. You guys already know the rundown of that one. We talked about it earlier. So let's get into the game. And there he is. The man. The mystery. The Mong. Guess who I am? Guess who I am? You're Mong. I know who you are. And there is the organ player himself. Piano. 3.33. I don't know if they showed his name or not yet, but that would be the man. I believe Piano won his first match. Let me check that out for you guys. Yeah, Piano won his... Actually, I don't know if he won his first match. I think he won his first match. We'll have to see what happens here. But to be honest, I would imagine that Piano is probably the favored player, and Mong probably not so favored because he's Mong. But he is the mystery. Mong the Gong. I knew a girl named Allison Gong. I hope she's not watching this right now. Yeah, many jokes were had at her expense in high school. I kind of feel bad about that now, but maybe I should call her and apologize. I'm sorry, Allison, for making fun of your name. It was insensitive of me. Anyway, bottom left, we've got Organ, a.k.a. Piano, a.k.a. Actually, I think that's his only 2 names that he goes by. The Terran player. And again, he is in purple. And we are playing on Avalon. The top left, we've got Mong, the mystery man himself, picking his nose. What are you doing? You're on TV. Don't pick your nose. This is a PR nightmare. How do you explain that? You know, what would have been really awesome if he just kind of did one of these. Just kind of flicked it and said, I'm Mong. I don't care. I flick boogers in the middle of a game. So I think we've only watched one TVT so far, and it was C versus... Was it C versus Piano, actually? I'll tell you in a second. What do we got? I believe it was C versus Piano. I believe. Maybe I've got it wrong. But C was definitely in it. It couldn't have been Mong, was it? No, I don't think so. I think it was C versus Piano. And C lost that game, so Piano has got a pretty decent TVT rank just in this tournament alone, going 100% so far against C. And Mong, on the other hand, lost his first game, and he lost it quite badly, actually. If I remember, he got pretty well stomped, which wasn't surprising considering we had, at least I had never heard of him before. We are going to see a barracks go down, so no 14 CC shenanigans coming from, well, actually, Mong might go for some shenanigans here. Let's see what he goes. He's been saving, I think he's going 14 CC. Wow! Wow! We got some balls on this guy. I might have to upgrade my view of Mong. I might have to write him a song. I'm sorry, it's just going to keep going. It's terrible. And we got an SCV heading out now to scout for Piano, and he's going to be really upset when he finds that there's an expansion there, unless he can put the pressure on. But we do have a barracks going down. There are 2 SCVs down there to try to defend against any harassment from another SCV. And they can, of course, repair each other or just run off the building or whatever. And he's going to see that 14cc is, in fact, coming at him. So he's going to have to, I would think he's going to have to harass these SCVs. He does. He decides to go after the barracks SCV. Well, he's going to bounce back and forth. But with 2 SCVs here to repair, he's not going to get anywhere with that. Factory is going down, though, for Piano at this point. So Piano may be able to get some early aggression on. Be curious if he decides to go for quick vultures. It would be a good way to get some honesty coming out of Mong and force him to do some investment into defenses here. We are also going to see some Marines being produced, at least 2. Second factory going down, so it is starting to make me believe that he's going to go for the quick vulture play. Mong with the collagen in his bottom lip looking quite sad, but I'm not sure why. I think he's actually in a pretty good position here. He's been scouted, so there was a risk taken. He's got his first factory coming down for himself. I would imagine that we'll see a bunker coming down for Mong up at the front of his base, as we do see the machine shop being built on the factory. So the machine shop, again, I mean, it's pretty standard, so I don't know. I'm not sure if there's value in trying to get out very quick vultures without a machine shop. But the machine shop will complete as the second factory completes, which will allow him to produce consecutively, or not consecutively so much as at the same time. That's what I really meant, whatever that word is. Vultures. But no, he actually goes for a second machine shop. Wow! That's unexpected. So he's going to go for the heavy tech investment route rather than putting on early pressure. Very interesting. So now I'm actually expecting to see Vulture Tank coming out for Piano, and that would be quite interesting. And the reason it's interesting is he'll be able to deal with the bunker very easily. The tank will outrange it, and he does. He makes a tank first. So one tank is out. Nothing is being researched from the machine shops, as they point out. That must be Piano's father and brother or something. I don't know, whatever. First factory is down. It looks like a tank is likely coming out from Mong as well. And we do have armories for both players being built, probably for upgrades, but later on I'm sure we'll see some Goliath play. At this point we have 2 tanks, and it looks like 3 tanks coming out for Piano. It looks like Siege is probably being researched in one of those machine shops, which would make a lot of sense considering he has only tanks. I'm pouring another beer, excuse me. And that's going to be a devastating push. He's going to get a very early contain, and TVT is all about the tank push. And tank pushes are very much an art in TVT. Very much an art. There goes the first tank getting some damage in on that bunker. It looks like the bunkers are firing on the barracks that is going to absorb the fire, which allows the tanks to do more damage early on. The first tank is out for Mong. It looks like he doesn't have siege. He actually looked like He was faking it for a second there. I mean, the way that he kind of set that tank up, I was expecting to siege up. And on the other hand, we are seeing siege coming out of Piano. So that's going to put big pressure on Mong, but he does still have that bunker there. And he is also able to spot with his barracks. He's researching siege of his own. He loses a Goliath in the crossfire from the 3 tanks. And Goliaths in the backliner are taking out that bunker, or that barracks for Mong. And now the push continues in. So Mong is actually in a rough spot here as tanks are pushing in. Zealots? SCVs are coming off the front line and attacking the tanks directly. I don't know how I call them Zealots, but I did. And they are just going down to nothing. There's no support behind them at all. And the push continues. It looks like that entire expansion is now dead. And I apparently have been calling the players backwards this entire time. Mong is purple. Mong is purple. Mong is the one doing the damage. Piano is the one that's going down. Oh my god, I've been calling it backwards the entire time, and Mong is clapping. Mong is clapping. I love this guy. Wow. How did I get it wrong? I feel terrible. Mong is pushing in at this point. The entire investment of Piano is down the drain. The Goliath is in on the oh my god! He's got no SCVs mining! The Goliath is in on the tank. He takes out the tank! He's down to nothing! And GG comes from Piano! Oh, what a twist! What a twist! We have completely different players playing the people that we thought they were playing. How did that happen? Why didn't you guys correct me? How did this happen? Wow! I'm at a loss for words. I think that is the best I've screwed up a game casting since coming back. I mean, that was like amazing. These guys are still screaming at Mong, by the way, as he drinks his fancy looking water. Wow. Mong just totally steamrolled Piano. Wow. Alright, GG guys, let me stop the recording here.